All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's having an amazing Monday. Hope you're having a great morning, and hope you had a great weekend as well. So, welcome to the pre-market show as we get ready to start another week. Looking forward to see how the markets are going to be this week. All right, how's the volume? Just want to make sure you guys can hear me, okay? All right, excellent. First day. Okay, man. Definitely excited for you as well. So, best advice we can give you if you're starting out is, trade very small. If you're starting out live, or if it's your first day in iBearable Traders, then welcome. So I'm not sure which one it is, but either way, man, we're happy for you. Um, all right, guys. So let's get to it. Let's start over here with what we have on our gappers list. So as usual, if you're joining us for the first time, our rundown is basically we go over our trade ideas gappers list, which we have here. We have quite a bit this morning. We are going into earnings week, and Norm will talk about that a bit in a second. And then we run over our top list, Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers. Then we get to a little bit of announcement stuff that's going on within our community. Norm will fill you in on that, and then we'll talk about support and resistance levels that are going to be key to the trading morning. So we'll bring that up as well. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Ready to start this week. I know we have a lot going on in regards to earnings and other things that are happening. So looking forward to another exciting week. We definitely had one last week. So looking forward to another one as well. Let's get to it, Norm. As far as SPY news and anything that can affect the markets coming up today or this week, anything interesting?
Yeah, this coronavirus stuff that we've been dealing with
Mm-hmm.
still going on. So, any kind of news coming out of that? Any news economic coming out of China? I think the biggest issue right now, which trying to figure out how long this is going to last, is that components or pieces or entire things made in China. I mean, they account for so much of what is consumed in this country and around the
Mm-hmm.
world every day. So, it may be a phone or something is assembled somewhere else, but a $5 component uh, of that object
Mm-hmm.
is made in China.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you can shut down a $1 billion assembly line just by running out of that $5 component that they can't get. With everything shut down and we don't know for how long, it could get a little bit of a problematic situation. So, that's what people are watching.
Yeah.
See if any new news comes out. As far as economic data, there's none today. We've got a number of things going on throughout the week, and including Jerome Powell congressional testimony tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and then retail sales and such toward the end of the week, but nothing today specific to that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, man. All right, guys, so let's get to it. We have a nice list this morning for a Monday. So let's start over with TCO, see what we got going on in this area. This morning, TCO, it is up quite a bit, guys, 52%. This looks like a buyout just looking at the chart right away. So if we can confirm that, it looks like it has volume as well, 2.9,
Yeah,
2.1
this is it.
million.
This is a REIT that's being bought out
Yeah.
by another one.
All
So
right, so we'll take this off our list. For those who are new, any type of buyouts, again, look at class number two. We talk about exactly, we go into more details on what exactly we're doing here to find our list. Some of the criteria that we like in that one, obviously, a buyout doesn't not provide a great trading activity at the morning open. So here we have ADVM, also not looking all that great. 106,000 shares traded. It is up 20%. The daily on this does not look great, guys. And what I mean by that, if you look at some of the daily candles, you can see some of the wicks are bigger than the bodies for the most parts. And also, you have just every candle overlapping the previous candle. It's not a great daily flow activity as you will find in another stock. If you look at like a Tesla lately, you can see how beautiful that flow is of the candlestick. This one doesn't have that. Volume is also very light. Doesn't have a great pre-market activity in here. So although we have over 100,000 shares traded, this is not an activity we want to really. Not the best day trading activity. Any specific news on this one, Norm, or is just nothing exciting going on?
Uh, they did get an upgrade out of Cantor Fitzgerald to 20 from $8 to $21 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And they had some trial data that came out last week. So that's what's going on here.
All right, excellent. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Again, not one of the best trading stocks. I'm sure we're going to find other stuff that's trading a lot better in this list that's going to make our main list. So next we have LB. LB is a stock we traded quite a bit. It does trade very well when it is in play. This morning they're up 7.1, which is nice. We do have 115,000 shares traded already, and you can see the daily here is kind of breaking out above this 25, so that's good to see. This is L Brands. Norm, one we traded in the past quite a bit. Any specific news to them this morning?
Yeah, they announced a while back that they're looking to restructure and such, and words come out that they are close to a sale on their Victoria's Secret brand. So,
Mm-hmm.
which has been a real thorn in their side the last few years.
Gotcha.
So that's what's popping us up here.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on this one, guys. Again, we have traded this one quite a bit in the past. It does trade well when it is in play. Right now, pre-market activity is not looking all that great. We have 115,000 so far on here. Hopefully, that continues to get better. Let's head down over to MYOV. So MYOV this morning is up 10%. Pre-market is not looking great, guys. Looks like volume is just starting to come in. So we'll give this a little bit to get going. We have traded this one in the past. It is a stock that doesn't have the best daily chart here, as you can see, but we do have had some good moves on this one in the past before. So we'll keep an eye on it. Again, right now pre-market activity is just starting to get going, so we'll give it a few minutes to come back and see what it has developed. Overall, guys, if you look at the daily, again, it has an okay daily chart, but you have some areas where it's just a lot of chop. Right, and you can see here the volume also is not great on this on a regular basis. There's barely any volume. So unless it's in play like it was this day here when it had gapped up huge, it's really not going to trade very well with that type of volume. So we'll come back to it, see what kind of day, what kind of pre-market action is going to have today. Next, we have Tesla. Tesla here is up 6.8% this morning. We are trading 830,000 shares right now. So again, beautiful pre-market activity. Here's the difference between like this type of pre-market activity, guys. Again, this is not clean, very choppy. Although you have volume, 108,000. I'm sorry, 108,000 shares traded. You don't have a great flow here. If you look at Tesla, on the other hand, Tesla has a very good pre-market activity. You can see the ranges here on the daily, creating some good action on the pre-market. So that's looking well. As we can see here, we kind of got a little bounce back coming off Tesla. Again, we've been talking about this, Norm, last week as well, about this moving average, right? We seem to be somewhat holding this. I know Tesla right now, the technicals are just not as strong because this thing is just so extended. The hype is out of control. So who knows how strong these technicals are. But what we're seeing right now is that it is kind of holding this moving average. So it held that the last 2 days here when it had gapped down, and today they're gapping up, kind of bouncing off this level. So we'll definitely keep an eye on Tesla.
We're
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're kind of getting some divergence in the signals here because it's extremely bullish that it's held that nine moving average. It's been a really clean run uh, on Tesla. Tesla's traded super clean, even at these extended levels and the high volatility. While at the same time, you've now thrown up that evening star, which is the doji on the topping day. And that is usually a very, very big sign of a topping pattern. You can see it in all kinds of things from, in November of 18, December of 18, November of 18, whichever it was, like Bitcoin, when it topped out, threw up the same pattern. Tilray, when it had its big day and hit 300, put in the evening star. So,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it over and over, when really volatile, high price stocks wear out, you get that signal. So, we've got one thing saying one thing and another saying something else. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, absolutely. Samir here is letting us know that they did reopen a factory in China for production, and I think we did hear about that last week as well. So maybe that's finally open. But I really think that this movement here is probably not because there's so much we knew about that's going to take place. There's so much happening here. It's so extended that any type of good news on this stock, I mean, how much value can you take it for, right? I mean, this thing is already hitting almost the high 900s. I mean, it's just getting so extended. I don't know how much news already built into this move that we have been seeing, right? So we just have to see what happens there. Next, we have mRNA. So this one we looked at before. I think a week or two ago. This was on our list quite a bit. Actually, right on here. These 2 days where we had some good drops Had a really good trade the following day on this one here. This one traded very clean the intraday. So today they're gapping up 4.1, 245,000 shares. Had a huge day on Friday, recovering some of the loss from these last 2 days. This one we traded it here was very active on these 2 days, and now they kind of recover that and they're up 4.1. So any specific news on this stock today, Norm? They seem to be bouncing around quite a bit on the daily.
Yeah, this is they've got this is a drug maker, and they are making progress. And they made some comments over the weekend that things are looking pretty good for their coronavirus vaccine that they're working on.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll definitely keep an eye on this one, guys. Again, it did trade well about 2 weeks ago or so. We had some good trading out of that, so we'll keep an eye on this one and see how the pre-market activity continues to build here. Next, we have SKT. All right, SKT's 125,000 shares traded right now. We are up 4.5 on this one. Not the best pre-market activity. Actually, not even the best.
So read.
Horrible. Yeah. Okay. So that's what it is. All right. So we'll get rid of that one. So horrible pre-market activity. And usually the reason why we get rid of stocks is because tickers they just don't trade very well, guys. Even in the intraday with a little bit of volume, they might gap up here and there, but they don't trade well at all. LLY, I saw some of you guys talking about this in the pre-market. Before we started the pre-market show, I know Dave was talking in the chat room about this one hitting our scanners, and it did now. So we are down 3.9, 115,000 shares traded at the moment. One that we have traded in the past, you can see here we have some levels when it was trading somewhat about around 100. You can see we have a good base down here when we were traded around that time. So today we're down quite a bit. Volume is okay, but the pre-market is not as great. But this is a stock that doesn't get going right away. It is a nicey stock as well. I'm still going to keep this on the list, guys, even though it has a horrible pre-market activity. It could still be one that could be in play today. Now this one is earnings, Norm, on LLY.
No, they had a clinical trial of an Alzheimer drug fail, so that's what they're getting hit. I'm
Oh, okay.
actually surprised it's not down a little bit more on that news,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't dug into it too much. Maybe there were low expectations for the drug to begin with, or something of that nature.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll definitely keep an eye on this one, guys. Worth watching. It's getting some volume. It is down 3%, and we do have a great daily chart here that we can get we can pick off some really good levels off of that. All right, let's head down. Did we look at SKT? It sounds like we did.
Yeah, that's the REIT
Oh,
we
yeah.
just talked about.
Yep, we did. Let's go down over to mRNA. We
See,
looked at BYND. All right, here we go. BYND. See what we got going on here. All right, so this is 213,000 shares traded. It is up 2.2 this morning, but BYND has not been trading very well, guys.
beyond the mean.
There you go. Has not been trading very well over the last couple of days. So again, the daily looks interesting because we still continue to hold this 110 area. Right, somehow we're still holding this. The moving average right on here, you can see that this is the 9, this is a 20 on the daily. We're still kind of holding that. And today we can hopefully get to 125 and also this 135 area where we had a lot of strong resistance. So again, it's just kind of going sideways a little bit on BYND. I think what's going to make the break on this one is when if they get that deal with McDonald's, that's going to be the next one's going to push them over this possible area of resistance. But the technicals right now are looking okay. Volume in the pre-market is looking all right, although you have 81,000 shares traded here. You take that out, you still got great volume, just a lot of chop here on BYND. We were used to seeing BYND trade very well, kind of find a level. You kind of hit it a few times with some good pre-market activity, and then at the open, you get the wild first 5 to 15 minutes, finally settles in, you can get some good opportunities. So we'll keep it on here, see if this develops any better. But it just hasn't been trading well over the last probably 5 days or so. Let's look at BHVN. BHVN. This one here, 421,000 shares traded. This is down 14% this morning. So this is a good drop. And you can see here where your previous day close line is. This is a black line here. You can see that was a major area of support being tested several times and kind of bouncing with the top of the range being around 58, right? So we've got a nice little range here of support and resistance. We're finally breaking down from that. We broke down for a couple of days ago, came back up, and now we're gapping down huge. So this could be a good one to watch today. Norm, what's the news on this one? We're down quite a bit.
Yeah, this is so when you have a failed drug trial, this is usually what you see. And
Mm.
they had an anxiety drug that failed a clinical trial. So that's what's going on BHVN.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Looks like we have some levels that might still be relevant here, so we'll keep those on there and kind of fine tune them as we get to that area. It looks like there's some more that popped up here. It looks like MAC. All right, so let's look at MAC, MAC. This one this morning, 106. It was up 13.7. A horrible pre-market activity right now. Not a lot going
Another
on in
REIT.
here. Okay, there it is. So again, these REITs tend to have these horrible pre-market activity, so we should skip that one as well. And I think that covers
You
our
know,
gappers
I'll tell
list.
you, all these are retail space REITs. You know, that SKT is Tanger Outlets, which is you know, factory outlet stores. I think they're just these are a sympathy move off that TCO buyout deal that we were talking about.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, so yeah, we remove that one. Let's go quickly through our Nasdaq active Nasdaq gainers. Let's see if there's anything else on here. I saw some of you guys on YouTube talking about VTVT. This is a stock, guys, that's very difficult to trade. We have seen this before in the past. I don't remember if it's a low flow stock. I don't that or I do not recall. VTVT, yes, it's borderlines, 23 million shares float, but it's very difficult to trade. It's a lower price stock, guys. Again, you got to be very, very careful. A few members have taken trades on this and done very well, but overall, I will stay away from it if you're just starting out. You want to focus on stuff that's not going to move as fast or as drastic as this one can be. So as
And I'll point out the float per FinViz
mm-hmm.
is 3.8 million and 34% short. So
Yeah, and it does move that way. A few times I've seen this
yeah.
stock in play, it moves like a lower than this 23 million that we're seeing here. Obviously, for those joining us, anything below 20 million shares on the flow, we want to consider a low flow and something you should be very cautious with, right? So this is borderline, and I'll go with FIM is on this one 3.5 because this is what we've seen out of the stock when it is in play. So with that said, this could be a good low flow stock for anyone watching low floats this morning. I am not going to be really focused on that. We've been doing really well in the chat with trading other stuff that's not low flow. But if this is your style, this is definitely one to have on your list. You have 2.7 this morning. You're up 83%. Definitely worth watching this one. Next, ACST. This one at the moment, penny stock. We'll skip this one. OTNX, another one we see here quite a bit. Also a penny stock. VLRX, penny as well. Tesla, we have Bingo. Well, not Bingo, but BNGO here. This one, also more of a penny stock, really trading under $1, so nothing clean there. BIOC, penny as well. NASDAQ indicator this morning, it's just pretty much flat. And here we have Apple. Apple is active. Apple is worth watching. How come it's not on our list? Oh, it's shy of being down 2%. But I do like this this move on Apple. Norm, anything going on Apple? Because the SPY is not really dropping like that. Apple seems to be doing his own thing this morning.
Yeah, Foxconn, which is a supplier for Apple, tried to get the Chinese government to let them reopen a factory, and that was denied. So there
Hmm.
is concern about supply chain issues with Apple. One thing to note about these factories and why this is really potentially a massive problem, and some people probably know this. I don't know that everybody does, but factories in China are not like factories here. Factories in China, I would say, are more like a massive public college where people go for extended periods of time and they work very, very long hours and they sleep in dormitory like conditions, never leaving the factory with a ton of other people. And they eat, sleep, everything, work for a long period of time in these
Hmm.
factories with other people. The factories have dormitories attached to them. So this kind of virus, especially with the human to human contact and everything else, um, it's the perfect
Hmm.
environment for that to thrive. And if they reopen those factories, it's going to be a nightmare, and that's why they're keeping them closed.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna affect a lot of things, man. I used to work for a very big Chinese company called Hire, and again, it was like a campus, right? They'll go for 6 months and then come back home for vacation for three, and then go back for another term, like 6 months work, and they'll stay there in the factories. It's a very different environment the way that works, and you're right with this stuff breaking out now. That could be a disastrous, great way to kind of spread that even more, right? So. All right, we'll keep an eye on Apple, guys. I like the activity right now. Good volume, 464. It is down 1.3 this morning. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Let's head over to NAS. Oh, AMD. AMD is also on here as well. AMD's got some volume, not the best pre-market activity. Worth taking a look at. We'll put an AMD on here just to see if it gets any better. We'll keep an eye on that one. Next, we have on NASDAQ gainers. VTVT we looked at. That's the low flow of the day so far. MR. EO, nothing much going on there, no activity. ADVN, we looked at this one. We have it on our list here. Hopefully, it can get a little bit better here in the pre-market activity. SEED, This one, nothing going on here. No volume. OXBR, no volume. Box L, we have traded this one in the past, actually. This one was in play before when it's trading a little bit higher. We did take some moves on this one, but not really anything going on right now. AKRX, this is another low flow. I'm not sure if it's a low flow, but this is one we have traded before in the past very well. At least about a year ago. This was very active. Almost every day was on our list, Norm. I don't know if you remember that. But it was one that, again, was very, very active in the past, and we took a lot of moves on this one. This morning, no volume, but the daily looks interesting, so we can keep an eye on that if it pops up into our scanners. BNGO, we looked at GNPX, also on this list, nothing good, and NBSE, also no volume. All right, good. So, what do you guys have, Norm? What do you like this morning?
I'm sticking with the current list for the moment. I mean, Tesla's been great to trade recently, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely have that on my list. I don't know which way I'll take it yet.
Yep, yep.
Um, but same thing. Nvidia, I'll have on my list. It's really not doing much now, but it has decent volume for Nvidia at this time of day. It's at 77,000, so
Yep, yep.
I'll have my eye on that. And I'll chime in with anything else I find. HPQ. Have you looked at HPQ?
No, we haven't.
That and
HPQ.
Pine Trust.
All right. All right, so let's look at HPQ, guys. So this one here, this is up 4.3, 259. They have any news today? Any catalysts on this one?
Well, yeah, but they're Xerox is trying to buy them out, and they've raised their bids, so it's not like a confirmed buyout or
Mm,
anything.
mm,
It's up 4.3% on pretty heavy volume, so it's not my favorite stock to trade by any stretch. But if
yep.
I can't find a whole lot else, this might be on there. And then, like I said, Pins is moving. Had a hell of a gap up and then sold off on Friday. So I'll
Yeah.
be watching this one. It could not close above that 200 daily, which puts it kind of in an interesting spot here.
Yeah, no, Pins is definitely worth putting on our main list. It's got some activity going on there. And even after a really nice gap up, I mean, this thing gapped up huge, guys. And look at this. We lost a lot of it, and now we're gapping down almost 2%. So, yeah, this is worth watching this morning. Good pre-market activity and some good volume, 279. All right, let's see what you guys have. NIO, let's start with that one. That one this morning. NIO. All right, so NIO's got some activity going on here. I do like the pre-market. The problem with NIO is reading the price action is very difficult. They're 2.6, actually a low volume for NIO. This stock trades heavily. Look at the volume bars down here. 216, almost over 100 million shares on a regular basis, right? This stock trades heavy on volume, and with that, what you see here is you start seeing the bid and ask showing huge numbers, right, on both sides. So again, it's just very difficult to read the level two on this type of stock, to pick out, where do you see the imbalance of power, which is very important. We talk about that in class number 3, and this is a stock that's very difficult to do that. Also, if it's not really in play, it doesn't move much. Several days we had a lot of pop here, but overall it doesn't move very well. Pre-market activity looks very good this morning. I do not have shares for sure, so for that I might not have it on my list this morning. Okay. Pins we have, so we'll keep that on there. Uber, let's take a look at Uber. Uber has been active the last couple of days as well, breaking out of areas of resistance. It did it here, somewhat did it here, right? Took a while, did it here, came back down, and then the following day gapped up huge. And then this day also had great intraday trading this morning. Let me get my 1 minute to show NIO here. I'm sorry, Uber. Here we go. All right, so again, this day also, the intraday was very good on this day here. This was Friday. And today we're kind of moving sideways a bit. I do like the volume 352. Could have some potential for a good continuation either way here. It can actually come back up and try to break the previous day close and the high of last trading day. Or it can come back down to this 39, which is a great area of support. That was prior resistance. So Uber could be a nice one, guys. I'm going to throw this on here. And Uber, again, the last couple of days has been trading very clean, especially at the open, giving us a good opportunity for open range break up and break down. So let's look at SQ and Roku, two that we have not looked at in a long time. SQ this morning. What do we have
Either
here?
one of these is really doing much to me at all. SQ's
Yeah,
got no volume and no gap, and Roku, it's got decent volume. It's up 0.5%, but it's just the pre-market activity's got a
yeah,
meh.
yeah. It's funny how great Roku was trading, just September, October, November, even part of December. We
Yeah,
had some
and it's
good
just
trading, and now it's just garbage. I mean, you can't trade it.
well, you're sitting in a consolidation period and a descending wedge.
Mm-hmm.
If at some point it wants to try to break to the top side of this, if you put a line touching the tips of all those candles since about December,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you put one on the bottom of those in that range. I know we don't usually draw non-horizontal lines, sloped lines on this, and it looks. I I really
Yeah, it does
if it
have, yeah.
tries to break to the upside, it could have a hell of a run. It's holding the levels so far. It tried to break down and sell off
Mm-hmm.
in late January and failed. So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
And it actually hit right off this moving average too, right? Went right to his that's the 200 on the
Yeah.
daily, went off of that and bounced back nicely there. So again, guys, I mean, it's just, and look at the intraday. Don't take our word for it. Look at how it traded Friday. I mean, just look at this nastiness here. There's nothing clean about catching any type of move here. Yeah, it's on a slow downtrend here, but do you really want to be hanging on here, for this to take place? I mean, it's just not
Well,
trading clean. So, um,
and and as David on YouTube points out, their earnings are coming up this week, I believe on
mm,
Thursday, probably after the Thursday after the close. So that very well could be the catalyst that shoves this one direction or the other with a hard move. And next week, Roku may be, the best trading stock in the world. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see.
it can go from 0 to 60 like that. We've seen it happen quite a bit, but again, it's just crazy how it's been. It was trading so. We had this on our watches almost every day. We traded it at least twice a week with some really good moves, and it's just been dying down here. I think that when earning comes out, we have some good opportunities to come back to this stock and see what we can get out of it. All right, what else we have? We got MRN. We do have on our list here. So MRNA, excuse me. VT we looked at, Jimmy, so we have that on here. Again, not a fan of this one. It is a low flow stock. You want to be very, very careful. TCO we looked at earlier. Why didn't we keep TCO? Let's take a look.
TCO's the buyout.
Oh yeah, this is the buyout this morning, so that's why we're not looking at that one. Again, buyouts don't trade very well. INO, this is another one that was also very active. But right now they don't have much going on. Looks like a possible block trade here. Let's see what the. Let me see. Yeah, no, you got one huge trade here of 100K, and then the pre-market's just not looking great right now, guys. So nothing clean about INO this morning. This was good here around this time. We had a lot of volume. Volume has died down. It has come back down to its normal trading range where it was at before. So I don't think we're gonna see anything great out of this one today. Let's look at ABBV. This was active Friday. I remember that nice little pop here, and actually ended up really strong. This could be a going for a continuation. Right now, it doesn't have the volume. But it is holding here. It's not gapping down like pins and some other ones that gapped up and sold off and are even lower now. This one is holding here. If it can hold its previous day close, it could be a good one to try to retest its 93. But right now the volume is just not there on ABBV. Pins we have, yeah, pins we have. We'll look at it in more details. I like pins actually out of all of these. This is one that looks very good because you got nice pre-market activity here. We got some good volume, and then look how weak it closed on Friday. This could be a good continuation to get to this 2402. We have a beautiful level here of possible support. So hopefully it doesn't run too much in the pre-market and gives an opportunity to take it short if that's going to be the play for today. FedEx. Let's look at FedEx F. That's FEDX, I believe. Yep. Not much volume on FedEx. Had a big day Friday, but not much going on right now in regards to volume. We'll do a few more, maybe two more. Let's do AGN, and then we'll do one more. And we'll get over to announcements. At AGN this morning, what do we have here? Yeah, AGN, it's just not a great volume. Good day Friday. Broke out of a nice area of resistance here, which was the low from Friday. Nice area broke out of that, so that's good. Ended pretty strong. So again, just needs more volume. Could be going for a continuation either way. Just got to settle in. You can check on this one like around 10:30 to see what it's going to do. Is it going to bounce off this previous day close, similar to the other one we just looked at, and see what it's going to do from there. Last one, QRS, nicey stock, but it needs volume. Let's see how it's looking now. QRS this morning, yeah, nice pop here, up 3.4. So again, it had a couple of green days being followed by a nice gap up, so that's good. That's something here is changing in direction, obviously, and you got over this nice area of resistance you had here a couple of days ago, so that's good. But again, just like you mentioned, it needs more volume. It is a nicey stock. Not sure what the news on it is, but if it can get some volume on here, this could be a good one for to look at later in the morning. All right, guys, let's get over to announcements. Then we'll come back and find levels of support and resistance.
Yeah, good morning, guys. So first and foremost, I want to huge give a huge shout out to my man sitting on the other side of the microphone over there, Carlos,
Hmm.
that did just an outstanding interview last week with Trader TV. So that is they're a subscription service that is kind of like a streaming cable channel for traders like us, you, me, everybody else. And when stuff is first seen, it is on their channel and you cannot see it, but then they later post to YouTube. So I'm throwing up the link if you get a chance. I think, what is it, about 30 minutes?
Yeah, about
Great.
22 minutes or so. Yeah, yeah.
Really just a phenomenal interview with my man Carlos.
Thank you,
And
man. I appreciate that.
smooth as silk. I know you said you felt a little nervous.
I was, man.
The first time you start doing these interviews, it can
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
little bit nervous, but you did a fantastic job.
Thank
So
you, man.
I
Thank you.
think everybody will commend you on that when you see it. Anyway, so let's get into the normal announcements here. Weekly rundown Monday. It is Monday, unfortunately. My 3-year-old son was screaming like a wild man, not wanting to go to school today. Um, we've got the swing trade discussion with Brian at 2:30 p.m. These are all Eastern. Then class one onboarding with Carlos tonight at 8. Tuesday and Thursday, we've got our noon trade reviews in the classroom. Wednesday, we've got our success webinar. They're usually at 8 p.m. like this is listed, but this week's, I believe, is at 4 p.m. Eastern with Mike Bellafiore from SMB Capital. So be sure to tune in there. It'll be in the lifetime room. All right, guys. We still have the Valentine's discount going on. Obviously, it's not lifetime yet. You can get 40% off lifetime membership, single payment option with the promo code LOVE. I need Barry White in the background, like I mentioned last week, for announcing that. So use promo code LOVE, get 40% off with or without DAS simulator. BBT membership. This does not apply to anybody that is a member of any kind already, but if you're not, you can get a forum membership for free. Use the forums. They're a great tool. Post in there and such. It's just behind a wall, so you have to sign up for a membership so they don't get spammed. In the classroom, or excuse me, in the chat room, we have changed the callouts tab to options for any kind of ideas about options trading there. Upcoming success webinars. I apologize that last week's is still on there. As I mentioned, Wednesday is Mike Bellafiore from SMB Capital. Hopefully, Bella can give us some great insight. He's interviewed with us before, done some other things. So an actual class from him will be really interesting. Speaking of, I'll skip to the bottom with the Twitter handles. Andrew shot out a link and a YouTube link on his Twitter, which is at Bearable Traders. I retweeted it. And he kind of put that as homework before a prerequisite before going to this Mike Bellafiore class. So if you get a chance to watch that, do so before attending. You can then on the 19th, 26 two-part series on trade training by Ed Martin of Average Joe Trader. Upcoming meetups. I don't think this is the most up-to-date version of this because we've got New York on the
Yeah.
Carlos. What date?
Yep. This coming Friday, 21st, right?
Oh man, yeah, it sounds right. No,
No, that's the
no
following.
man,
Yeah.
you just husband failed right there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I
Your
did.
wife just had your baby, and you skipped past Valentine's Day to do a New York meetup. I don't know what's wrong with you, dude.
Oh
Uh,
man.
so that's going to be a week from this Friday,
Yes, the
Carlos.
21st. Yes.
On the 21st in Midtown Manhattan. I don't know if you guys have a place picked out yet, but if not, it will be soon. Check the forums. And then he's also trying to get to the Mideast, so check the forum post on that. 1 week trial in the chat room. If you've not been in the chat room, you'd like to give it a shot, you can do so at a discount by using the promo code premarket24. Does not auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. As I mentioned, we're all very active on Twitter, so you can check out our handles at Bearable Traders, at Carlos MBBT, or at Norm BBT, and get some of these announcements, content, and other stuff. That's what you got.
All right. Thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. All right, guys, so let's get to it. We have quite a bit of a list here, as usual. Again, we are in the middle of kind of earnings, so a lot going on here. Let's look at ADVM this morning. This one is of 205. Again, still not a great pre-market activity, guys. Still pretty choppy here. not anything great like a Tesla. If you look at Tesla, just to give an example, this is a great pre-market activity, has a nice flow to it and some good volume. So this one here not showing that sign. Obviously the volume is pretty sporadic, so you're not getting that great flow on here. I do like that it's gapping up quite a bit here, also sitting on a level slightly above or right on the level of resistance, which is this what we're going to mark down here, this 1215. So we'll mark that there. High of the pre-market, oops, there we go. High of the pre-market this morning sitting at 1330. So let's mark that as well. Towards the bottom, you could mark down the low of the pre-market at 1161. And then below that, you got plenty of levels, highs and lows last 2 trading days, and also your previous day close, kind of like the bottom of this nice major area of support. So we'll see. Might not make my final list, guys, because I'm not seeing a great pre-market activity here just yet. Hopefully that gets a little bit better, but right now it's just kind of a little bit choppy this moment. Here's LB right now. So LB at the moment, it is up 7.1. We have traded LB in the past. It does not have a great pre-market activity right now. Volume is hopefully can start to get going here. So high of our pre-market at the moment, 25.54. So let's mark that down. And then the low of the pre-market, we do have 24.50. That's the low of our pre-market. In between that, you do have the highs from 2 days ago. Right on there, kind of midpoint, so that's good. And then towards the bottom, guys, as you can see, highs and lows and previous day close. Also a nice moving average on there as well. Plenty of support levels towards the bottom. Let's see if LB can give us some good levels above this 25.50. Right in this area is the most recent time that we have been above this 25.50. Very clean level right on here, guys. Look at all the days having that huge area of resistance at 26.58 right on there. You can see that area of huge resistance. Then it breaks out of that, is able to create a new area of resistance over at 28.04. So plenty of levels towards the top and bottom on LB. Do not think you need to add any more there. Let's look at MYOV this morning. Yeah, this one is not gonna. It's not looking great at all, guys. I'm going to remove this one. Not a great daily chart. Definitely not a great pre-market activity. So I'm just going to take this one off our list. Tesla, obviously, one that you do want to watch this morning. High of our pre-market, 818 at a 79. So right over here. Here we go. All right, that's the high of our pre-market. Towards the bottom, guys, plenty of levels here. It's got some good highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You also have a previous day close. You also have this moving average, which we've been trending on, again, since forever, it looks like. So, again, this 9 has been really strong on the daily. Look how it comes back right to it several times. We did that 2 days last week, Thursday and Friday, and now we're gapping up nicely. So, we'll see what's going to happen on this 850. Right on here, and also we got, obviously I don't think we're gonna get up here, but who knows, the way this thing's been trading, anything is possible. So another great level above this high of the pre-market is going to be this one here. This 844.56 was the most recent, right, out of all these days, the most recent high. So you're going to get some attention there. Above that, you obviously have this one all the way up here, 967, which is close to the all-time high. Not the exact number, but somewhere in that area. And then I'm gonna mark down the opening and closing of this day here. So 855, right? I don't expect to go from 844 all the way up to here. I think here is going to be a minor area of support and of resistance, 855.04. So I'm going to mark that down just to have that on my chart in case we do go long on this one, creates an opportunity. We do have a target that we can aim for, that you're going to have some kind of loss of momentum here for sure. So you want to be able to take some profits there. Take a partial, whatever the case may be. MRNA, this one traded very well 2 days ago. We talked about this. We had a beautiful short on this day here. I missed the opening range breakup on this one, but both days had amazing opening range breakdowns on the 5 minutes. So today they had a huge day here, as you can see. A nice little pop. High of our pre-market is sitting at 25.19, so we'll mark that down. This 24, where did we get this 24? I'm not sure where we got this from, but I'm going to remove it because right now it doesn't look like we need it in this area. So remove that 24. We do have our highs and lows, 23, 25 down here, very close to our highs and lows in previous day close. Above this 25, okay, so here are the levels that we had before, so which are still relevant. 26.55, and we have 28.96 are still relevant levels based off this daily range here, so that's good. Then towards the bottom, guys, plenty of support. Do not need to add anymore. Pre-market activity is starting to get a little bit better, guys. Again, this traded very well, so I'm going to keep it on here, hoping that we can get another good intraday activity on this one. LLI, I love the drop. I'm sorry, LLY, I love the drop here. Low of the pre-market is sitting right at 138.96, so we'll mark that down. You can see that 138.96 also it was resistance in the past, broke out of that, created a nice new range here, right, between that 138.98 plus this range up here, 142. 28. All right, slightly below the pre-market low, but I like this level a lot more because you do have a lot more activity at this level at 142.28. There's more significant action here than there is in this high of the pre-market. So for that, I'm going to keep this one instead of the high of the pre-market. Above that, you have a kind of a bit of a gap, not with any major areas. You could mark down this 143.79. You have 2 days topping out of that 143.79, and then from there you got the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days of these 3 days that we have up here. So again, nice gap down this morning. If we lose that 138.98, you have another 137 here, 137.30. And then below that, you do have an area here at 134.13. Also at 137, a nice area of resistance right on here as well. So you definitely want to have down your list. This is a very big area of rejection. And when you see that type of rejection like that, that's a major area you want to have on your mark down your charts. BYND, guys, again this morning, tons of support towards the bottom. This thing has been holding. This moving average has been very choppy, has not been trading very well. And for some reason today, I don't expect that we're going to be seeing anything fancy out of BYND. But as far as levels, we have the 125, which has been an issue the last few days that we saw this 125 when it was trading around that area. We saw how it changed direction, how it acted around that 125.14, and then above that, this most significant level, this 135, right? This 135, 134 area has been a major area of resistance for BYND. So, not a fan of it the last couple of days. I might not keep it on my list, but those are the 2 levels you're looking for. Hopefully, this thing can bounce up nice from here and get some volume heading that direction. VN this morning, we do have some levels that look relevant. Let's just double check them. But the price action right now is sitting right at a level. Do we have that marked? I think we do. Yeah, I think we have 44.61. It's marked right on there because you can see here, guys, the area of support and resistance, kind of support right on resistance and support, and then support right on this. So that 44.61, you want to mark that down. Below that, 39.84 becomes a great area of support as well. Look at the double bottom off of that. 37.38, you also have major support here, guys. This is major support because you have several days not being able to break from that, and then breaking out of this 39.84. So again, that's the levels we have right now. Pre-market right now, guys, not looking all that great. It's got some great volume. It is a nicey stock, so their pre-market activity is not usually the best. The volume is good, but again, it's just there's not much going on. It's just a pure chop right now at this moment. Pins, PINS, one of my favorite ones this morning, has a beautiful pre-market activity. It has great volume, down 2.4. This thing is dropping nicely here after having a nice big red day. So let's remove some levels and get some fresh ones. Here we obviously have an area of resistance that can now be support, this 24.09. Above the price action, you do have your previous day close, which is great. I'm going to mark down the low of the pre-market because we could have a bounce here now because we are kind of a bit extended on the pre-market. We've been selling down nicely, so let's see what this does here. If we're able to hold this 24.50, or are we going to lose that? All right, so then above that, guys, previous day close, and also you don't have great major support on here because it's very choppy. But if you can pick out a one, it will be this 26.35. 26.35, you draw a line right across there. You can see several days bouncing off that 26.35. Again, not the best level, and I honestly think this thing is probably going to sell down. I don't see it as strong to go up to this 26.35 this morning, at least the way it looks now. Uber, guys, choppy, but again, this is normal pre-market activity for Uber. We've seen Uber have these type of days and still trade very well. 405 on the volume at the moment. The low of the pre-market, we're sitting at 39.84, so let's mark that down. Below that, guys, you got some really good levels. Look at this 39 right on here, which is the low of Friday, and then several days using this as resistance. You also have highs and lows down here as well. You have a moving average coming up right on here, so we want to mark that down as well. This moving average is right at 38.23, so we'll mark that down in case we decide to lose all these levels. And then above this 41, let's go back over here above this 41, which is our current 40.65 to be exact, current high. Above this 41, let's see what we have. All right, we kind of have a choppy daily here. I don't see anything great. The best level I see here that you could clearly tell is a level is this one, 43. Aside from that, anything in here, guys, this is not a great way to find level. There's nothing in here for as far as levels. So again, 43 is the best level in there. You can mark some stuff. You can watch out for 42. Right, that's a whole dollar, but overall, it's not a great level in that area. All right, guys, that is what we have. Look at Apple. Apple, I like actually, guys. Look at the movement on Apple now, starting to get going. Looks like we might be finding some support around here. I'm going to mark down this 313.72. We had some support there before. Let's see if it holds that. You also have that moving average right on there. Let's see what it does there. Clear level all the way down here at 302. Let's mark that down. In here, we do have some choppiness, but I can see somewhat of a level at 309.32. You have some highs and lows for some days. Some days opening and closing in that area. This one also closing around that area as well. So 309.32. A lot of volume right now in Apple, guys. This thing is looking very interesting. 634, and it's going to be down 2% if it can drop a little more here. So towards the top, guys, plenty of area of resistance. Don't need to add anymore. Actually, you can even take these off that we have here. We have some levels in there like 318. You don't need to put that on there. 327, leave that on there. That's your all-time high, or at least pretty close to it. But again, I think this thing is looking very interesting this morning. Yeah, yes, it is.
I'm interested to see what Apple does here, sitting right at the right above the 20 moving average.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And we had a bounce around that price target a few days ago as well. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see because it hasn't broken this right in a while. Yeah, it kind of bounced from that. Yeah,
No,
it's been
it's been a very long time.
yeah. I mean, this guy's. I know this is below, guys, but this is not really breaking. It breaking is when you start setting a trend below it. It may bounce from it. It's been bouncing from this, quite a bit. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what it does here. Next we have AMD. Oh, AMD, I'm gonna take off, guys. Not doing much. Apple is definitely the one to watch this morning. All right, guys, let's fine tune this list a little more. So ADVN, I'm gonna remove this one. Wow, it's just not looking great. LB, I'm on the fence on because I know they can put in a good trading day. Tesla, I'm definitely watching. MRNA, yeah, this is a good possible. LLY, LLY, I'm not sure on this one. BYND, I'm gonna put BYND down here as a possible. Beyond the meat. Apple, I'm moving up for sure. I think Apple's gonna be one of my favorites this morning. It's looking very good. Uber, Uber's a good possible. It could be a hit or miss. So I'm going to put Uber down here. And I am going to, let's remove Apple from here. Uber, pins, looks good. I like this drop here. Great pre-market activity, so we'll keep that one. BHVN. This has a nice drop, guys, but I'm going to move it down. The reason, because it just doesn't have a great pre-market activity right now. So I'll look for this one to hit our scanners. I just got to bring this down to 6. That's the magic number. Let's take out BYND. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. So we have Apple. I have pins, LLY, mRNA, and this one might be one that I could take off. But again, we have some good trading days on mRNA, Tesla, and LB. And LB, okay, good. LB starting to get going. Hopefully, can break out of this 24.54 and start putting in some good trading here in the pre-market. All right, I think we have a great list, guys, for a Monday. Not bad. Norm, anything else that we missed?
No, you covered it all. I just threw up my watch list. So LK's on there. I don't know if you looked at that or talked about it. It's kind of on a secondary for me.
Yeah,
LK's but
good.
other than that,
yeah.
Not much.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like LK. LK's been, again, one of these stocks has been trading very well for a very long time for us. It wasn't our list for the last 2-3 months, almost daily, right? So again, one to definitely put on this list here. All right, folks, that is our list. 9:17, 13 minutes before the open. We're going to go into the chat room and continue our conversations, fine-tune this list a little bit more. Brian, I'm not sure if Brian's coming on today before pre-market, but
He's
Brian
here.
will come on. He is? All right, good morning, Brian. So Brian will come on. He'll start going over his watch list, the things that he's looking for this morning, and we'll fine-tune this list even further down. Peter is watching Apple, Pins, and Tesla, secondary LB, mRNA, HPQ, BHVN, and LLY. All right, perfect. Good morning, Brian. How you doing today?
Good. Good. How is everyone doing this morning here?
Good.
All right. Good SPY trading down today at the open. Yeah, there's just listening to your list, just going over. I think actually BHVN looks like it might pop back up here. It's kind of drop and pop. Apple, yeah, looks interesting. I guess they delaying some release of some low price phone or something because of the virus situation. So we'll have to see what the market brings to us this morning. Pins Pins was yeah,
Pine
Pins is
Trust.
interesting too. Pinterest, yeah. Trading down. So Tesla, hard to believe, back up to 800.
It
Is it
really
hard to
is.
believe?
Is it hard to believe? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not that hard. LK is dropping hard here in the pre-market even. Baba's down. Baidu's down again. Keeping an eye on those. Eventually there'll be a buying opportunity there, I'm pretty sure, for a longer term hold. Nvidia got an upgrade, I guess.
Yeah, Ahmed, this TCO is a buyout. This is why we're kind of seeing this flat action. The volume is kind of pretty much set. So you have 5 million shares traded right now, but they're all just flat, this one price target. So again, you're not going to get much activity.
Yeah.
It looks like 52, 96, 97. If you look at the time in sales, they're all just around that number. So you're not going to get a lot of movement out of this stock. All right, folks on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time. Take care.
Take care, guys. Trade safe. See you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that is a very typical price action